Welcome to the desert of the real.
Hey, Jesse, this you?
Yeah. Just been listening to the show. I noticed that also before I even begin, hello, nice to hear from you.
No problem. How you doing?
I'm good. I am good. Yeah, I was listening to the show, and in the chat room there was spats going back and forth. But one thing I pulled from it was someone is still. Like I don't know what the guy's name. I think it was like Jay Bronze or something like that. I forgot the name, but he basically said try building prosperity here. And I asked him, well, is there any prospects left in America? That's pretty much my question to anyone who still holds on to the belief that there's something here. And he said there has to be. He basically sounded like BA, from basically his.
Now that dude, Bronze, whatever his name is, he tells me he's an African nationalist. I believe him, but what I would say is this, what you can get out of America is America has a lot of libraries, has a lot of learning institutions, it has a lot of infrastructure. The problem is us is this, Jesse, is that we're not like other people. Other people come here and get their education and whatnot, and you take that education and you go someplace where you have no competition. If you get your engineering degree and you know how to build stuff and everything, you go to a place like Ghana or Liberia, you can write your own ticket. Become wealthy. Wealthy. Look, if you think I'm lying, look at the Chinese right now. You got young Chinese men who went over there as engineers. You know what they're doing with their money? They go because everything's so cheap. You could buy and get land for freaking pennies on a dollar. Now you got Chinese over there taking their money, buying strip malls, and got restaurants and nightclubs and everything. And I'm saying, and with their old karaoke bar, where they exclude local Angolans from, And I'm saying to myself, why isn't African Americans? Angola. That's where a lot of us came from. How come we're not participating in engineering projects and everything, taking our money and investing it back into the economies over there and everything, building our own restaurants and bringing our people. Now, and also some of them, the Chinese are not bringing their families over.
You know why? Because we got trolls.
Yeah.
We got trolls, man. You see, a lot of these cats is really disingenuous because when we sit down, me and you actually will talk to anybody. We'll sit down, we'll listen to them, we try to come to some type of commonality with them. But these guys are not interested in that. What they want to be is turds in the punch bowl. That's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
And they become, and you can expose them when you start, pointing out the contradictions in their stances and saying, because the logical conclusion to all of these people that say, well, we got power right here, we should be doing stuff right here in America. Okay, well, if you want to do things in America, how about build a port that you can control, where you can do trade here in America? Can you do that? What about building an infrastructure in the community where you can control the economic? You know what I'm saying?
You heard what Devon Bell said the other day. Devon Bell said, look, he's like one of the most educated brothers. Everybody listen to that show, please listen to that show, Thursday night show with Devon Bell. He just dropped it, And he said like this, he goes like this, with the Onyx Stock Exchange, we're basically negotiating to put the stock exchange on the continent. Because he goes like this, so look, man, you try to build something in America, and Devon's a real sophisticated, educated brother, but he's like us, but he don't go say it like we do, right? He goes, man, they'll come and shut you down, lock you up in a minute. You try to do anything over here, because you don't control no laws. You control laws. But he goes, on the African continent, he goes, man, he goes, Africa got problems because they still got the colonial thing, but he goes, He goes, trust me, we're going to rectify that. And I know Devon
but
Bell
these
with his
guys,
system,
you know, like these guys who's in this pro-America, we need to do it here. When you start asking them questions about how are you going to do it here, they all fall, their arguments fall to pieces, including BA. They all fall to pieces. They never answer the question. They never tell you, first of all, how are we going to, like they keep talking about all of this spending power that we have. Okay. Who are you going to trade with, and what are you going to trade with? You're going to trade your labor, and then you're going to have to compete with the freaking Mexicans.
Right.
When it comes to labor.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you have? You have nothing. You have nothing that we control.
I think Black Achievement said one time, the classic of what he said was, we got to make sure our all dollars stay inside of our community. So in other words, you're going to go on 125th Street and put up a barricade and tell people, and what are you going to put, little marks on black dollars, say this is a black dollar, you got to stay in the community.
You know what's sad, Colin? What's sad is that he doesn't even realize what he's saying when he says the dollar needs to stay in the community. You know how the dollar stays in the community? By having one. That's how the dollar stays in the community, by having a community.
We don't have
because when people live, in the community,
we ain't got no community, man.
Yeah, when people live in the community and they reside there and they take care of it, they spend their money there. How are you going to have the dollar stay in the community, and then you're going to fight me and you when we say let's have a community? These guys are full of shit.
Yeah, because like I said, I'll watch this one so-called educated, one thing. I think I reposted because I wanted to talk about it. These so-called educated roundtable brothers talking about, you know these people that always basically they say stuff we already freaking know. He said, the black dollar leaves the community. I'm like, so in other words, you did a whole video, you have a roundtable, so just tell us stuff we already know. A roundtable of talking points. You're out there, the black dollar don't stay in the black community. First of all, you just said it for me, brother. What community? What freaking community anymore? What community? You go to Elsa and they say, let me give you an example. If a Ghanaians, right, have put us past a law, right, that because they got all these merchants getting into Ghana's a hot spot right now. All these merchants from all over the world want to get into Ghana, right? They want to basically, you got people from Lebanon, you got people from all that, and the Lebanese are making inroads. The Lebanese got Liberia on lock right now. They got Liberia on lock, right? And the Ghanaians were talking about, well, why is the Liberians, Lebanese control Liberia's economy, like 60% of Liberia's economy, right? They got it on lock. They got their own version of Home Depot over there and everything. So anyway, the Ghanaians passed a law which basically said you got to have, to all new merchants, you got to have at least a $300,000 investment. In other words, they were tired of these Indians and everybody coming there with their little things, setting up shop, flooding their market, and putting their local people out of business. Now, that's what happens when you have a government and you have laws and you can basically, you're the one controlling the licensing process and all stuff like that. We have no such power in Black America. You think they're going to give up $1.2 trillion because they think it's the right thing to do? We're not going to open any more business to the black community because
you know what's funny?
You
know what's funny? What's hilarious? You cannot have a community without having social, economic, and political control over your environment. So these guys, even though they attack us as black nationalists, they are actually using a nationalist mentality if they start talking about, because what's the alternative? Either we're going to control the businesses in our community, or we're going to have people coming into our community, taking the money from our community, and then taking it to theirs. Now, I haven't heard anybody openly suggest that. They, like the bootlicking Negroes don't openly suggest that because it would make them look completely ridiculous.
Right.
But what they do is they go against us to try to be contrary to what we're saying. But if you're contrary to what I'm saying, then what are you actually saying? What are you actually saying? If I'm saying we need, if I'm saying that we actually need to have a social, economic, and political infrastructure, and you're going against me, then obviously what you're saying is that we don't. Because if you're not saying that, then we're on the same page. Right?
Yep. Brother, remember something a couple of years ago, they were dead, the NAACP and the integration was dead set against black people having their own businesses. They said they want a colorblind world. They want a world where, remember that? Roy Wilkins and Whitney Young, they said, no, we don't need economic whatever. We said it's all American businesses and everything. We don't need no black businesses. You should be able to shop at downtown at Van Burgers and all stuff like that. That's what they were saying. You know, now they're gonna come with this. Now we're talking about going for the gusto, talking about our independent nation and nation building and stuff like that, investing heavily in these African countries building our own stuff over there. Now they're saying, oh, let's build our communities over here. Well, you had like a whole 2 generations to do that, and you were dead set against that because the Jews, the Jews and everybody else fought.
Can I just say, I want to say something while it's on my mind because I was thinking about this when you were talking before.
Right.
There's movements, you notice they have like the Zeitgeist movement. They have the Occupy Wall Street movement. They got the freaking, what's that thing, Anonymous movement. What people got to understand is we can do the same thing. It doesn't require, because what we tend to do is we put the cart before the horse. Like everybody wants to get money from everybody. Oh, black people don't give this and give that. It's not about giving money. It's about, you have to come up with a narrative that people can connect with. And that's how you create that groundswell. You know what I'm saying?
To have some kind of common ground.
Right. We need to stop begging black people for money and start approaching them ideologically. Start saying, listen, this is what we have to do. This is what's going on, and this is what needs to be done. That creates that groundswell that we need. We can have our own version of this Occupy movement, of Zeitgeist movement. That can easily be done by us. But we got to stop with the tactics that we're using and start winning hearts and minds.